Tressway punts to the sky. Durant gets twice as high. Let's take a look in the Chromebook. Reid's Reading Rainbow. I can go anywhere. Trade rumors to know, top fives to grow. Reid's Reading Rainbow. I don't know if we have licensing for this theme song. Let's take a look in the finance book. Reid's Reading Rainbow. Reid's Reading Rainbow. Reid's Reading Rainbow. Reading with a I, like R-E-I-D. Reading Rainbow. Get it? Like my name.
I hope that made that one YouTube subscriber very upset that got very upset by that before. According to @Schultz Report on Twitter, Jordan Schultz, he put out an update of the Trevon Diggs situation. Yes, Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs was released today by the Dallas Cowboys with one game left in the season. After the Cowboys finished their Christmas game versus the Commanders, Diggs requested with head coach Brian Schottenheimer to stay in Washington for the holiday since he's from the area and his family stays there. Players often ask for and are usually granted additional family time during the holidays if the schedule makes sense. Dallas played Thursday. Schotty denied the request. Diggs again said he wanted to be with his family and that if he went back to Dallas, he'd just be flying back on the first flight out, especially with players having several days off. The team vehemently denied his request again, and then today, the team released him. Diggs is healthy and ready to join a new team for the playoffs. This also comes after the same day as Stephon Diggs being accused of strangulation and sexual assault.
Ooh.
So not a great day for the Diggs family.
Not the greatest.
Yeah, but Trevon Diggs, is he worth putting on a playoff contender?
I think if it's like a fringe team that could definitely use him, yes. I think he brings enough talent to someone who, like, put him on like the Packers, right? And that would be a very interesting, homecoming for him if him and Micah Parsons is out right now. But put him on the Packers, maybe that gives him a little bit more defensive back depth. But like he's also been like linked to just being like all gas, no brakes. Like he's going to get you some picks, but like he's also very susceptible of getting beat a lot. And I think we're seeing that this year more than ever. But I think I really feel that if there's a team out there that could just use an extra cornerback piece just released for the playoffs, it's worth doing.
Yeah. I especially with him wanting to be in Washington to visit, I kind of like immediately went to the thought process, yeah, it'd be great to have him in Washington, but there'd be no point to signing him right now, I guess, unless he just completely clears waivers of any of these playoff teams. Yeah, you're right. It'll be a good depth piece for somebody. But, yeah, really, that sucks for that family. He was awful with Dallas this past season.
Fucking just have the Patriots go grab him. Whatever.
Fuck it. Why not? We're back.
Right. Who cares?
Yeah. Also, the thing that I saw of Jimmy Butler in the I keep forgetting he's not with the Heat. He's with the Warriors now, yelling at Danny Wolf of the Brooklyn Nets, a young white rookie player on the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know what brought it up, but Jimmy Butler hit the and one and started screaming white boy every time. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
As a white boy, I can't say anything about this. I gotta keep it to myself.
I was gonna say, this is for all the white boys. This is your chance to retort.
And now you know what? I can't retort because I've gone this far in my life not getting canceled, and this is not the time that I want to voice my opinion.
No comment, says white people everywhere.
So on here, it like gives you like the person like their role and like their style. So like for you, it says organizer, consensus builder, but with strong opinions, style of being confident, narrative driven, trust the process football guy. Zoo, reality check, structural analyst, skeptical, process-oriented, anti-hype. Luis, chaos agent, emotional fan logic, passionate, contrarian, experience-based, especially Jets trauma. And then Scott, minimalist, gut check voter, short, blunt, anti-nonsense.
Wait, it has you as anti-nonsense?
Anti-nonsense.
That's not correct. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 323. I am your host, Reid Murphy. Happy New Year, you filthy animals. Or New Year whenever you're listening to it. It might not be New Year yet, according to my very logical and statistical co-host here, who does not want your day early. Happy New Year's. Don't hit him with that shit. That is the one and only Scott Ellia. Hi, Scott.
Let me enjoy the last couple moments of 2025. I don't know how your year has been, Reid. My year it's definitely had its ups and its downs, but it looks like we're closing out the year on a high note, which is nice. Unlike my way too early preseason picks for the NFL season.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into all that. I'm kind of with you. I get a little, it's not anxiety about New Year's and a new year and everything, because time is a concept. So like, what really changes? It's just nothing. It's just what Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper tell us, right? So I'm not gonna get too freaked out about it. But yes, we're gonna dive into these predictions that we had and sports predictions as a whole, everything. We're gonna give you a little bit of a recap because, and thank you folks, by the way, for watching. If it's on the 323 Network YouTube page or listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is that you've been doing all year long. As we heard on the Spotify Wrapped list for making us such a dramatic, I think like 55% subscription rate improvement, something like that. All those weird stats. Something, we're popular in France. Weirdly, there's a lot of followers in France. I don't know why, but thank you for listening to us.
Omelette du fromage, am I right, fellas?
But we could not let you escape the year without hearing our voices one more time. Everybody else is on holiday. Everybody else is on break. No. Just like Jimmy Stewart and It's a Wonderful Life. No. You will get us one more time. We're working overtime for you because we also haven't worked in like 2 weeks to do this show. So we're giving you a little something going into the final week of the NFL regular season, and to just, be true men and admit when we're wrong and talk about the things that we were wrong. And we're also going to gloat a little bit about what we were right about. But Scott, 2025 was just a interesting year in general, but also very bizarre in the NFL. And we've been hearing the commentators talk about that recently in games, and just that we had no idea how things were going to go. We had, now looking at it, feeling like chalk predictions, but teams that should have been good, just should have been good.
We couldn't be more wrong.
Couldn't be more wrong, not anywhere close to the playoffs right now. So like as we're entering week 18, this feels like the end of the season because most teams are clinched for the playoffs anyway. What were your feelings on this regular season as a whole?
Chaos, absolute chaos this year. I mean, you felt it, not even just being a casual fan of the NFL, watching games for your team, but like fantasy football was out of whack all year long. And it just, but this is what we live for, right? Is we embrace the chaos. We don't want chalk picks. Maybe this is something that we need to take into consideration when we have our Gallant show next year, and maybe not take those safe picks and maybe step outside the box a little bit and see what we can do. Because I don't know about you, but I look back and I look at my division winners, my wild cards that I picked for the AFC and the NFC, and my awards picks that I had, and a lot of red X's going through these names that I had on here.
Yeah, it did not go, especially, I'm glad that you brought up the fantasy point. We had of course, the fantasy burritos all season. and our fantasy expert Luis Martinez coming in dead last in our fantasy league. So, that's just how that goes. Things just were not. It was the most unpredictable it could be. And that's what Roger Goodell kind of wants, right? He's been begging for parity. He's been wanting parity in this league. He don't want it like baseball where everybody knew how the last season was going to go. The Dodgers were going to win the World Series because you just buy shit up. The NFL makes it with its draft, with the salary cap, that guaranteed every single year you're going to have 4 teams throughout the AFC and NFC together. You will have 4 teams that did not make the playoffs the year before have statistically made the playoffs the next year. It's crazy that has been happening since, I think the stat was 2002. Like, parity runs rampant in this league. It's easy to go from, not easy, but it's possible to go from worst to first in your division in the playoffs. So we're seeing that this year with some big surprises. Just before we dive into those predictions, I do have to give the official declaration. Mama Murphy has weighed in on this NFL season and has deemed it trash. Toilets! Officially. I'm sorry to say she has said that this NFL season is shit and throw it away. Now,
is that because her darling Chiefs missed the playoffs?
I was going to say there's a little bit of a bias. Because not only did the Chiefs miss the playoffs, but Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. We missed a lot in the time that we were out.
Her second favorite light skin didn't get to go to the NFL playoffs.
You say second. He said,
is she beating you out? Is he beating you out?
You say second. He might very well be. I don't have a calendar in my face.
You don't have Funko Pops. Copious amounts of Funko Pops in your house.
There's more pictures of him than me in this house. I'm the second favorite son now. Maybe third if we're thinking about you. I don't know.
I don't know. That depends on the day.
Yeah, it really does. Otherwise, it's like a Game of Thrones situation. But I did want to dive into what do you think that you were the most right and the most wrong about this season? Because I can give you a good start here with wrong. I went.
No, are we start with, look, I am a proponent. When someone asks me, I got good news and bad news. They ask me which one I want first. Bad news first, always.
Yeah.
Get that out the way. So I feel like we need to admit when we're wrong first.
100%.
Before we actually die on that hill of what we called early on. Because I have one big one that I called earlier on in the season that I am very excited about.
What was yours?
That I'm most wrong about?
Yeah.
Just the NFC in general. Just the whole NFC couldn't have gone worse. I mean, for the division winners, the North, I had the Lions, who aren't even going to the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Just after that Goff game last week, they're not even going. I had the Buccaneers, which it's going to come down to this week. I am very scared to see what happens there. The West, I picked the Cardinals. Why didn't you say, Scott, what are you doing? Why are you picking the Cardinals?
I don't know what we did during that show. I think that show is a good revisit for people because there was something happened that we all talked ourselves into the Cardinals.
And then I had the Commanders. And then I had the Commanders win the NFC East, which hindsight's always 2020. I think if the Commanders were healthier throughout the season, they could have been able to squeak it out. Because, I mean, the Eagles haven't been overly impressive to anybody.
Yeah.
They just lucked out at, they're 11-5. They just got the ball to bounce in their favor a couple times, and it is what it is. But, yeah, completely missing 75% of my picks for the NFC is probably my biggest miss.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of people could relate to you on that though, right? The NFC has been a shit show in general. I think a lot of people were predicting Washington to win that division, especially after last season. A lot of people got high on that. So a lot of people could share that pain. And it's something, like you said, hindsight is 2020. We've seen that happen with a lot of teams. Houston Texans a couple years ago, right? They were so hot. We were comparing CJ Stroud to Michael Jordan his rookie year. I don't know where that came from. And then, things leveled out the next season. They just happened to be in the AFC South at that time. Washington, the injuries really suck. And Jaden Daniels was going to hit that kind of like sophomore slump no matter what. He was going to get a little humbled on things and figured out. I do still believe in that team for the future to, and Adam Peters to rebuild with a little bit of youth in there and get things right. And if health can stay, if the health can stay, you have a shot. And the Detroit Lions, who wasn't predicting them to be a damn near Super Bowl team, right? And even Tampa Bay, like, it's the NFC South. It was just an assumption that they were going to win the NFC South, because why would you expect less with how that division rolls? You don't have that. Did we not all know that the Atlanta Falcons would finish somewhere either at 500 or right below 500? It's what they do. They're destined for it. Just now, somehow, the entire division's fate lies in their hands. Even though they can't make the playoffs, they have the most power and influence coming into this week.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
You are dependent on Kirk O'Banks, right?
My boy.
At the mercy. The Cardinals, I think that's my shared what I was most wrong about. I was really high on the Arizona Cardinals. I really liked a lot of their defensive additions. Josh Sweat on defensive end has been really good this year, and he was also voicing his frustration with not making the Pro Bowl or anything, because nobody gives a shit about the Arizona Cardinals, especially when they're 3-13 going into Week 18. They've been awful. Jacoby Brissett has been an improvement over Kyler Murray, who's been injured allegedly. Just so they
future Jets quarterback Kyler Murray.
Future Jets, Raiders, Steelers quarterback. Insert him wherever.
Oh God, Miami Dolphins.
Oh God, yeah. Wouldn't that be something to replace your 6 foot number one with a 5'11" number one or whatever he is? But I'm also going to admit my super wrongness on coaches. I will say I was a little wrong about Brian Schottenheimer as the Cowboys coach. Who?
Joe Staley? Stanley? Who's the not Joe, sorry. For some reason I had a left tackle that used to play for the Browns.
I was going to say Joe Staley. I was trying to think. I was like, Joe Staley was like a really good tackle for the 49ers.
No, I meant Zach Taylor. completely off in left field.
I was not wrong about Zach Taylor, and the Bengals, this is on them, right? This is on them for not firing him this season. They're not going to. I already know that. That's how that organization rolls. They're not going to fire him. But maybe they wait till next year and then they can get Marcus Freeman, who's already committed to Notre Dame. We'll talk more about that on College Shame Day. But I was wrong about Brian Schottenheimer. I thought that was going to be a colossal failure for that team. Instead, I can watch the Dallas Cowboys and see a completely different energy than they had during the entire Mike McCarthy era. The whole Mike McCarthy era of that team, there was just no energy. They were playing okay, they were winning games, but it just didn't. I don't know what it looked like the Patriots of old, right? Except they weren't winning Super Bowls. Like, they just looked boring and kind of nonchalant. Schottenheimer, He's got those dudes hyped up. I really do think that team has a future with him. But the most I was wrong about was our boy, Liam Cohen in Jacksonville.
I hate it.
I thought as soon as we heard this,
Duval,
like, that's doomed, right? Like, that's
it's cursed. That's just such a cursed audio clip, and I don't even know how it's still on my soundboard.
There's no way that this
Duval
is successful. Like, like, that can't be. And instead, the Jacksonville Jaguars have been a force this year. He has done the impossible and fixed Trevor Lawrence. I think we've seen now that Liam Cohen was a huge influence for Tampa, right? Like, that helped Baker, that helped that offense a lot. Of course, Tampa got riddled with injuries this year, but like, there was no escaping Todd Bowles this season. And Liam Cohen has just transformed the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I was dead wrong. I thought that either he was going to have an Urban Meyer level flame out through this season, or it would be the opposite where he would, and this could still happen because we know his reputation, and don't let, NFL pro influence you folks. Liam Cohen has success here, right? And I almost lined up to a T that he was going to have success his first season, maybe the second season too. The Florida job was going to open up in college, and Liam Cohen was going to leave the Jaguars for Florida. It just happened a little too early. Florida opened up a little too early. So we'll see. We'll see next year.
While we're on the topic of Liam Cohen, I sent you a picture in our chat. Can you look back into the recesses of your brain of anybody you've ever met in your life and say they are more non-symmetrical than Liam? Look at Liam Cohen's face. Everything is just off.
Non-symmetrical is a hell of a way to describe him, but you're not wrong.
But I mean, I will give Liam Cohen his roses because, looking back at it, it's not like he won against absolute cupcakes. Sure, he did, but they still put up wins against where'd it go? Reid, I lost it. No,
he looks AI generated.
He does look, but they beat the Broncos, who are looking great this year. They beat the Colts, who caught fire late on in the year twice, back to within a month of each other. They beat the Chargers at home. They beat the Chiefs, of who now we know who they were, but that was in the second month of the NFL season. They still beat them at home. They beat the Niners on the road. They beat the Texans. So they beat some playoff caliber teams throughout the year. I mean, for the most part, a lot of their teams, like the Jets, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Raiders, some of these teams, have no real talent at this point, but it's not a suspect, body of work that they put up this year at 12-4.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or the dampener on these things just to, still.
His eyes are really big.
They're bugging out. And, because yes, I was wrong, but also
get him out of here.
let's see how the playoffs go. Right. We did get a little high on Brandon Staley a few years back when he was the head coach of the Chargers, and the Chargers, squeaked out some stuff. Let's be careful. Let's be careful here. But I do like his energy. I like his energy. I like Ben Johnson's energy that he's brought to the Bears. And I was wrong about the Bears too. I didn't think that was going to go. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to go very particularly well, but I didn't have it like the Jaguars. So my apologies to all those I was wrong about. I shouldn't do that. But let's be real men now, Scott. What were you most right about? Fuck the wrong.
What I was most right about was my Broncos pick at the beginning of the year. I think we all saw, the writing on the wall of the Chiefs. It was going to be a down season, but most of us didn't want to pick against, a surefire bet. I said, no, I know how much I hate Sean Payton, but I don't care because it's bow time, baby. And it's going to be the Broncos coming out of the AFC West. And then looking back at it, even the winners are still up for debate right now. I mean, I picked the Ravens to win the AFC North. They're right there with the Steelers. It comes down to this week and seeing who's going to win that game. They could probably squeak that out. I picked the Texans. They're only a game behind Jacksonville and playing really, really well. They got a league best 8-game winning streak going into the playoffs right now. So if they get this next week now, they're just the hot hand. And I would be very shocked if the Texans don't take a run in the playoffs this year. And then the Bills. I think that was the other safe bet that we kind of talked about. I don't think anybody really expected the Patriots to play at the level they're playing at. Granted, they do have the weakest strength of schedule in the NFL. But hey, you're doing what you're getting paid to play for, right? You're playing to get those wins, and they're doing what they got to do. I'm very impressed with how Mike Vrabel's been able to turn that locker room around and produce what they've been doing now at a high level. But the AFC in total looks pretty solid for my picks that I had at the beginning of the year. But my biggest feather in the cap is going to be that Broncos pick I had at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we were really high on the Broncos, and you talked me into that too, where I was already really high on their defense. I loved the additions that they made in the offseason. I loved everything that they did to try and build that team around bow time over there. And I didn't have them as the division winner initially. You helped coax me into that, and I was just going to have them as a wild card pick. But yeah, they've been really, really awesome this year, so that's been fun to see. Looking back through it, just to go over one more wrong thing, I was shitting on Luis in the pregame show about his Super Bowl picks, pretty much already being eliminated, Detroit over Baltimore. I didn't realize I picked Baltimore over Detroit. So
hey, I picked Baltimore over Tampa Bay. So it's still in play. It's still in play.
We could all be eliminated
after this week.
But my most right here, I kind of want to. I wish I had said something like Phillip Rivers returns for a couple more games. But I want to shout myself out on New England because I didn't pick them as like the division winner or anything, but I remember all during that prediction show being super high on New England and being high on what Mike Vrabel could do for that team. And I've been very, very happy to watch them not only kind of regain form as they're, the old kind of Patriots, but like there's actual energy there. There's an actual fun to that team. I love watching Drake May this year. That has been so fun. That has been so awesome for that team. So yeah, I'm gonna run with you on the AFC here because I think we were already influencing each other anyway on our picks. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't been right about a lot this season. It's been really rough in my picks. It's been really shitty overall. I will give myself a little bit of credit on the Rams. I've been high on the Rams for 2 years now. Picked them to win the division again. That's not going to happen. But I've been really high on them as a Super Bowl potential team. And even though Matt Stafford's trying to play themselves out of it, I think he's just trying to dampen your expectations. Just trying to get them lower going into the playoffs so you think they're going to be an easy wild card team to beat. That team is still really dangerous, and they've been, Sean McVay's been coaching them up really well. The development of those young guys on defense has been fun to watch. And I'm going to launch right now into the bold 2026 sports predictions because I want a couple from you here, and I'm going to start you out with one right now. The LA Rams, they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll go ahead and jump that in. They're not going to win the Super Bowl in 2026, but they're going to feel the need to launch into that window before it closes with a Matthew Stafford retirement at some point. He's not going to retire. He's going to come back for one more go here. And the Rams, using 2 first-round picks that they got from, they have their own and they have Atlanta's, which, by the way, what a shitty Monday night game for them to not only pretty much lose Matt Stafford's MVP race, but also make their first-round pick that they got from Atlanta worst in the entire situation. But they're going to use those first-rounders and a couple others to trade for Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders and fortify their defense and become an even bigger threat in the NFC next year and try to, launch that feral dog across the 49ers and the Seahawks and the wasteland of the Cardinals to win their division finally. And the Rams will win the Super Bowl next year with a Matthew Stafford retirement as the cherry on top.
You know what? I'm actually very upset with your bold prediction because part of that is actually your whole scenario is 2 of my bold predictions. I do feel the Rams are going to make a blockbuster splash trade, but it's going to be because Stafford does retire. Oh. And we've been seeing the writing on the wall in Cincinnati of a certain quarterback who isn't happy and is not having fun right now. And they're going to use those picks for Max Crosby and use them to get Joe Burrow to go to LA to play for the Rams because Max Crosby is going to end up on your Washington Commanders next year. And that's going to be the tipping point for the Commanders to not only win the NFC East next year, but to also win the Super Bowl next year. And Jane Daniels is going to become the face of the league. Everything's going to be great in DC. You got the nice new stadium coming in the following year. Those are my two biggest predictions. Is Max Crosby is actually going to end up in Washington, and Joe Burrow is going to end up in LA.
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I will get a Max Crosby jersey so fucking fast. I want that bold prediction to be true.
Oh, and I'll give you another third one just for free. Just to keep teasing you a little bit, because we just talked about NFC teams. Let me give you an AFC thing real quick.
Shit.
The Broncos, they're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Oh.
And they're gonna be the new team to beat in the AFC.
I love it.
Let the Sean Payton revenge tour happen now.
I'm going to give you a bonus little sports prediction here. The New York Knicks are winning the NBA Finals. Just throwing it out right now.
Ooh.
Luis isn't even here. W323 can't even ride, but I'm going with the Knicks. Just to throw it out.
You know what? I'll give you an even crazier prediction. I don't watch the NBA as much, so I can't give you an NBA crazy prediction. But Travis Kelce, retired. Chris Jones, gonna be gone. Andy Reid, he's gonna step away from being a head coach. He's gonna get into like some kind of GM front office role. Patrick Mahomes requests a trade and gets out of Kansas City to go anywhere else.
Oh my God. You just destroyed this house. You just broke Mama Murphy's heart.
He's gonna pull a reverse Joe Montana, and he's gonna go to the Niners.
Let me give you Mama Murphy's bold prediction from a couple weeks ago when there was all that talk of Joe Burrow requesting a trade, and it happened right around the same time as Mahomes' injury, where Mama Murphy gave the incredible trade scenario that the Chiefs should just trade for Joe Burrow to be, the fill-in quarterback while Mahomes is out next year. And then he can go to the bench.
Ooh.
So, bonus bold prediction there. Joe Burrow to the Chiefs. You're not breaking it down. We're reloading.
I love it.
Going into week 18, Scott, any takeaways from week 17? And I'm very curious. I ask you this specifically because you have a messy week 18 coming up.
Well, first of all, the Buccaneers have just shot themselves in the foot week over week. The last 4 weeks, just shooting themselves in the foot versus teams that they should be beating. Starting it off, not even the last 4 weeks, the past 2 months, we've gotten one win. Loss against the Patriots at home. Loss against the Bills on the road. Loss against the Rams on the road. One against the Cardinals at home. Loss against the Saints at home. Loss against the Falcons at home. Loss on the road to both the Panthers and the Dolphins going into this season. We were on fire the first half of the season. And then all of a sudden, something got in the water down there in Tampa. And the whole team is just taking a shit. And like every week, it's like, this is the week. Clinch the NFC South. Let's keep moving forward. So I'm really hoping that this week against the Panthers is a get-right game. I mean, am I hoping for a long run of the playoffs if they make it? Yeah. Is it more than likely? Not really. If they get in there as a wild card. But other than that, can we just say kudos to Sam Darnold really quick? I mean, I don't think any of us were really having high hopes with him and Mike McDonald there in Seattle, but the offensive player of the year hopeful in JSN, he's completely come on the scene. Everyone had really big question marks about what they were going to do, with DK Metcalf leaving and him kind of taking that number one role. And, they brought in Cooper Kupp to kind of help solidify that wide receiver room. But I don't think any of us are really high on Seattle. No,
not that high on them. But we've also just been discounting Sam Darnold for a few years. I mean, last year we kind of I think we more championed it to the Vikings as a whole and Kevin O'Connell as a quarterback whisperer coach. But now that's kind of, fallen off a little bit with the, not greatness of 9, as he calls himself, JJ McCarthy. And you still can't fault the Vikings for that move. I still think that was a decent, I think it was the right move to make when you have, you just drafted a quarterback in the first round. So let's see if you can develop him and make do off of that rookie contract versus paying Sam Darnold a shit ton. But damn, dude, Sam Darnold has been great. one thing I did want to follow up with you, because we're gearing up on Black Monday. The firing of NFL head coaches coming up. And
I thought you were going to talk about Martin Luther King Day. That's not for a couple more weeks.
Well, that should be the thing. But well, actually, in this America, it's going away. But that's the wrong hand gesture. Yeah, there you go. We had we talked a couple weeks ago about Todd Bowles' future with the team, and I wanted to see if your opinion has changed at all, because at that time you were saying, like, why fire him? Like, who are you going to improve with? Since then, I think it's become that seat has gotten a lot hotter, right? He's kind of reversed with Raheem Morris, where Raheem Morris does the special survivor skill of getting eliminated from playoff contention midway through the season and being fiercely on the hot seat, and then deciding to win a shit ton of games to remind Arthur Blank, hey, maybe you should have a little patience with him again next year. That'll keep going for the next 9 years. I promise you. Tampa, right now you have a lot of analysts saying that Todd Bowles probably gets fired even if they make the playoffs and they can't get, at least to the divisional round. You have some Tampa fans saying that they need to get to the conference championship to, warrant Todd Bowles keeping his job. So where are your feelings on that?
Yeah, I think this last 2 months, like I said, it's kind of gonna happen unless he makes some magical run to an NFC Championship game to solidify his standing there in Tampa. I think it's all but gonna happen. Who I'd like to see if it does end up happening is I really enjoy watching Clint Kubiak in Seattle, being the OC there. I would love to see him come into Tampa and kind of revitalize that offense a little bit. And then you also, like, I think a lot of problems are on more on the defensive side of the ball too. Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, I think he's going to be one of those coaches that are probably going to get a job here in the offseason. Maybe that's a good shout, but I think this is going to be the year that he's gone.
Yeah, I think it has to. I think it has to be. I like Todd. Seeing him spew out 7 F-bombs in the middle of a press conference a couple weeks ago was the most personality I've seen from him in a long time. Or maybe ever, actually, even when he was in Washington as a player. But yeah, I think it's going to be about that time for him, quite a few others. I still think it's about that time for John Harbaugh in Baltimore. I think it's about that time for Tomlin in Pittsburgh, even if they win their division. But I'm right there with you with John. I just think they're probably going to let who's their OC, Todd Monken. Is that who's there right now? Mm-hmm. I could see them trying to point the finger to him, maybe he gets out of there and they try to do something in Baltimore to kind of get that offense back up and running. Like when you have a powerhouse like a Derrick Henry, and then like Lamar Jackson, his stature of talent, like you have so much higher expectations in that room for that team, and they just didn't seem to be clicking at all this season. It doesn't.
Even their point differential is damn near flat. Like they just weren't impressive at all.
Well, it doesn't make sense a couple weeks ago when they're playing the Patriots, and the last time Derrick Henry touches the ball in a close game is with 12 minutes and 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. You can't and that's where it goes to John Harbaugh on me, that you're following a rotation scheme. You can't, you have to give that up at some point. I get the analytics thing is big, but sometimes you do. That's the point of being a head coach. You have to go with your gut sometimes. I'm not even a Ravens fan, and that pissed me off. I think it delighted Zoo.
No, I think John Harbaugh. It's like we've talked before. I don't think the heat is completely on. No, but that burner's clicking.
Right,
that burner's clicking.
Burner's clicked, I think, on the entire division. I think the only one who's actually in the flames is Kevin Stefanski with the Browns. But I think the rest of the AFC North is going to survive into next year with just some staff changes floating around to, keep everybody afloat. And then you got guys like Mike McDaniel, who we thought was going to get fired. He'll be safe. I think the Dolphins.
Well, Marcus Freeman's not going to jump ship anytime soon. So that's another name out of the hat. I thought he was going to go to New York, but Doesn't look like that's going to be happening.
I really did too, and apparently he's just coming from the Jim Harbaugh school of leverage to get that new contract and money from the university.
Dude, we'll talk about it when we talk about college football in the next couple of days. But like, yeah, you see all these like Kenny Dillingham, you got fucking paid to stay at Arizona State because he was kind of flirting with that idea of leaving to go somewhere else. And and if you're Notre Dame, who else are you going to get? Brian Kelly to come back?
Oh God, it would work. I can only envision him as a Notre Dame coach for some reason. That's the only way I see him now, but won't be happening. But we'll talk about that on College Shame Day. In the past, because I think Shame Day will be released before we're putting this show out. But it's a new year, timeless concept. You don't know where you are.
Whoa!
Listen to it as you please. But we're going to go ahead and get into these final picks of the NFL regular season on one Reid's picks versus Griffin's picks, a.k.a. Ricks versus Gricks.
Time, space, referee decision-making. These are all just some of the mysterious, uncontrollable strands of life that make up the massive universe that we call home, and the comfort food for the soul that we call sports. As most people journey through it with no idea where to go or what to do, a select few will help you navigate the terror, frustration, and endless possibilities of making a 50-50 choice. This is Ricks versus Gricks.
That's right, Griffin. This is Ricks versus Gricks, and we're getting into our picks that we do every now and then here on the Inside the NBA of low tier sports podcasts, where we compared to Inside the NBA, I think we're lower tier.
They have more production value.
Yeah, they have the production value, but we have the same schedule.
They got Mickey Mouse on their side.
We come in every few weeks, and Kia, weirdly. And we come in every few weeks, we give you these picks, and it has been a season. But I want to congratulate you, Scott, because no matter what, you are going to be the only one guaranteed to come out of this season with a winning pick record. Now, we have this thing, and look, I'm at 43-53 on the season. There's no hope for me. But I am happy as a producer, as a host, as a mediator, to hopefully get three people above 500 on their picks this year. That's an achievement on its own, because it's very hard to pick these games, especially in a completely scattershot season. So last week, Zuhair Ali, the current Grick, went 4-2. He's 48-48 on the season. I'm sorry, he went 4-2. I went 0-4, and I am 43-53. You also went 0-4. So you are 53-43 on the year, but that's still great. You're going to win. And Luis went 3-3. He is 50-46. So there's still
talk about a comeback for Luis.
Right. There's still something to play for here, and Luis could end up being the Grick, the regular season Grick here. Even Zoo theoretically could retain the title if they do the right things. Or we could have the Atlanta Falcons situation here where just everybody except for you winds up with a losing record or, going 500. So, all my happiness could just completely fall down the drain, but I don't believe that it will. This week, Scott, we're going to start with your exact NFC South, and we're going to tackle the Carolina Panthers, who are 8-8, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 7-9. Bucks are a 2.5-point favorite at home here in the Saturday afternoon marquee game. What do you got?
Before I get into this, Reid, because first and foremost, thank you for everything that you do for this network week in and week out, and getting all of us, organized and ready to go and try to put on the best show we can for the fans at home. But I do want to say you didn't give any roses to our guest pickers that we had this year in Bradley Harrison and Jay Sisson, Angela Panegua. But most importantly, Travis Byram, 4-2 on his guest week.
It's crazy.
The one person who knows nothing about the NFL completely crushed his guest week. So congrats to Travis Byram. This game, it's the same style that I like to do my bets when my favorite teams are playing. Bet against my favorite team, so that way I win no matter what. Give me the Panthers, so that way I get a win on this, or I get a win and we go to the playoffs.
That's fair. And I like the strategy that you could be going for here, because last week we completely cursed Tampa. We were the reasons. We all picked Tampa. It's the only game.
Sorry, Baker.
It's the only game it happened. Shout out to the Dolphins. I don't even know how the Dolphins played in that game. I couldn't tell you a single image of Quinn Ewers playing in that game, but that's how it goes. I'm going to roll with you here, not for the exact same reasoning. I'm going to roll with the Carolina Panthers. One, because the Panthers are inconsistent and they win every other game. So they've lined up now to, win in dramatic fashion here and win the division. But I also just like the young energy of that team. I like Dave Canales. I think it would be a fitting end to Todd Bowles that he gets ousted by his former offensive coordinator. And just the young energy of that team kind of works. I don't know what happened with Tampa's defense. I don't know. Obviously, you can attribute injuries to what's gone on with the offense, especially with the receiving core between, the promise that was Emeka Egbuka and, that hamstring injury that will just linger and linger. Mike Evans and his injuries this year. Chris Godwin trying to come back from his season-ending injury last year. I just don't think it's the year. I don't think it's it. And I think that there's a little more energy for the Panthers. And I hate when teams win divisions with losing records. So please, Panthers, just put 9 wins in there. If you can't get a winning record, I think you should just get eliminated and throw the Lions in there. Or if you can promise a healthy Jaden Daniels, we'll go. We'll take it. Why not? Let's go for the most fun. That should be a fan-voted wildcard team. I think we should do that next time.
Ooh, I love it. The NFL just needs to adopt that.
Yeah.
They just leave it to fan vote, open a fan vote for like a week.
They try to make the Pro Bowl important via that. So why not why not put some stakes on this thing? You want to say the fans are important.
I finally figured out what would fix Pro Bowl weekend is making it a 4-team playoff of the bottom 4 teams playing for the number 1 pick. Don't give the worst team the de facto number 1 pick. Have these 4 bottom teams actually go play for it.
Let them do flag too.
Get rid of Pro Bowl weekend and just have a little mini playoff. You got 2 games on a Saturday, and then you have the number 1 pick game on a Sunday, and then just go from there.
That would honestly be pretty great. I'd be very down with that. Or you could just do the whole Pro Bowl week, like Monday and Tuesday are the playoff games, and then Saturday or whatever, whenever they play the Pro Bowl, I don't know when they play it. That's when you do the Shit Bowl championship.
Instead of them playing like normal football, you just have all 4 of these teams bring all their whole rosters to Hawaii or Miami or where the hell they're going to have it, and just do like an old school field day, elementary school field day competition.
Dodgeball to win the number 1 pick.
You got these big offensive linemen trying to carry eggs with spoons across a field.
It does make the most look, Raiders-Giants was the game I was most excited about last week. Just to see.
Look what that got you. Look what that got you.
I know. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
You knew who was going to win simply because Max Crosby was like, fuck this, I'm not playing.
If you can count on anything, the Raiders are going to be bad. Like that, they put on a masterclass last week of, hey, you want a number 1 pick here, buddy. Hey, Fernando Mendoza, what don't you love about this?
Geriatric Pete Carroll. Hey, buddy, come on, play for Las Vegas.
Hola, Fernando.
The most clean-cut quarterback in years since Phillip Rivers going to play in Vegas.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's going to be wild. They need Diego Pavia. That would have been a little better.
Oh, don't get me started on him.
Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who are 13-3 at the San Francisco 49ers, who are 12-4. Seahawks are a 1.5-point favorite on the road here. This game wins the NFC West. It wins the number 1 seed in the NFC. Scott, who are you taking in the Saturday marquee game?
See, I would love to take the Niners because I love the storyline of the potential, example of the Buccaneers when they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago in Raymond James Stadium. The Niners could potentially play the Super Bowl in their home stadium this year. But I really do like what I'm seeing out of Seattle and what Mike Macdonald's been able to do there. I really enjoy seeing JSN going off this year. Give me Seattle on the road to further cement themselves as the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Can't argue with that. This one was really tough for me to predict here, and it's going to be a fun game. They could honestly just play this game 3 times for the NFC playoffs, and I'd be fine with it. Just best out of 3 for the conference. The storyline of San Francisco potentially getting home field advantage completely throughout the postseason. That's insane.
That
would be insane, and even more insane on top of the amount of injuries that team has had this year. No Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner. Their receivers have been in and out. Brandon Ayuk.
George Kittle is out most of the year.
Right. Brandon Ayuk is driving 90 miles per hour around the stadium instead of playing in the stadium. Yet somehow Mac Jones has been in and out as the starting quarterback. Yet somehow that team has just looked dominant nonstop throughout the year. Brock Purdy putting on a freaking masterclass on Sunday Night Football last week, to the point he got the coveted Patrick Mahomes comparison from Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Scumbag.
Just with that and who should be coach of the year, Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to take the 49ers in this one just because that team just looks like the best in football right now. It looks like the best organization in football at the very least. So
it's going to be a close game because what's the line right now?
1.5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And whoever wins this gets the first seed.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Get everything. Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
And then wildly could the other team winds up as a wild card team.
What time is that game on
Which,
Sunday?
by the way, this was the same position Sam Darnold was in last year. He was in the exact same position in Week 18 with the Vikings, where they could have either been the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs or they would be the wild card team, and that's how that wound up going.
And these are the situations where they need to be able to flex out these games because, that game is at 8:00 Saturday night.
Yeah.
So,
but
you had the Panthers Buccaneers right before that, which is going to solve the NFC South situation, and this is going to solve the NFC West and the number 1 seed situation. So it's why? And then for the primetime game for Sunday, it's Ravens Steelers, which it has the same implications on there, but it's I don't know, it just seems like it's way too. That should be in the number 1 spot for this game.
That's what I was watching for towards the end of Sunday Night Football last week, was to see who's going to get that spot, because they didn't even know, because the NFL doesn't finalize the schedule until this past Sunday night for Week 18, and they wound up going with Ravens Steelers for Sunday Night Football instead, and putting Niners Seahawks on Saturday night. And I'm glad it's a primetime game, but yeah, I agree with you. I would have put the better records on for Sunday Night Football, but I guess NBC wants the potential storyline of Aaron Rodgers' potential last game, even though pretty sure it won't be. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good way for ABC and ESPN to solidify any kind of ratings and stuff for Saturday, because you put the Packers Vikings at 8:00 on Saturday night, nobody's going to watch it.
That's true, and
it makes sense from a business standpoint, but as a fan, this is the game that has the most implications tied to it, and it's going to be a shootout. I want to end the NFL regular season on that note.
Right. I want your best commentators on it. I want Fox on Panthers Bucks, where I want to hear those guys there. I want to hear Aikman and Buck on Seahawks and Niners. I like that energy there. I guess what's the over under on Mahomes talk during the Ravens Steelers game, since it's an AFC matchup?
Jesus Christ. There is no number high enough that I'm not going to take the over.
3.5, 4.5.
Every sentence. Every fucking sentence, dude.
One game that you're not going to get Mahomes talk in. We have the New Orleans Saints at 6-10 at the Atlanta Falcons, who are 7-9. Falcons are a 3-point favorite here at home, Scott. This is a pivotal NFC South matchup for you, because if the Falcons win this game, I don't know how it works. no matter what happens Saturday night in Panthers-Bucks, if Tampa wins that game, Falcons could still win against the Saints and the Bucks would be eliminated. I don't get how that works necessarily. That feels like a college football playoff kind of thing, but like, who do you got here in Saints-Falcons?
I'm using the same moral justification that I did with the Panthers-Bucks, where I picked the Panthers because no matter what I win. With this one, I'm also going to use the same justification, take the Falcons. So that way, if they win, they win. But if they lose, it's great.
It's fair. Ruins the Rams pick there. Ruins my Max Crosby trade. Can't have that happening. I'm going to roll with the team that I did not think I would pick once this year. And we went that route last week with, Raiders, Giants, but I did not ever think I was going to say, give me the Saints, but give me the Saints this week.
Listen, I didn't think they were going to get anywhere near north of 5 wins this season. So with them sitting at 6, potentially 7 this year, that's a win for them with all the issues they've had.
I completely assumed this year would be like a 3-win season, maybe a 2-win season. Kellen Moore was just going to automatically be safe no matter what because, he knew what he got himself into. They knew what they were doing this year, that it was going to be a rebuild and, full shit stain kind of season while you're in salary cap hell. But my God, the Saints have been fun at points this year. They've been on a 4-game winning streak here. I think they found their quarterback. At least for the time being, in Tyler Shuck, especially looking at this coming draft class, there's not really options that you want to take with your first rounder, especially like, if you're in a top 10, but maybe not first. Tyler Shuck has been really, really good as a rookie for them. I don't know if he'll be the complete future. He reminds me a little bit of like a Davis Mills type, but he'll at least hold things down for a year. And Saints have been fun. Falcons are stupid inconsistent. This would line up with them finishing exactly where I say. If they win, they'll finish at 8-9. But I'm taking the Saints here. I'm going to give you a little bit of grace, and I'm going with the Saints. And I'll give the Bucks their chance at the very least. Next up, Miami Dolphins, who are 7-9. At the New England Patriots, who are 13-3. Patriots are a 10.5 point favorite in this one, Scott, but the Dolphins have shockingly gotten to 7-9 quietly. They, even picked up a win under Quinn Ewers. Mike McDaniel's job looks like it's going to be safe. We thought this team was just going to be a complete collapse with how the start of the season went. Who do you want here?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what most people think because both teams have something to play for. You have the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel's making sure that he solidifies being a head coach for the Miami Dolphins for next year with a win here. They settle at 8-9. I think, like you said, with the injuries that, the Dolphins had faced and leaving at the end of the season at 8-9, just under 500 is enough to kind of keep them there for another year. But you got to look at the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots right now are the number 2 seed. They're battling against the Broncos for that number 1 overall seed for the AFC playoffs, and they're going to have to play lights out. I think the NFL wants it. I think, Mike Vrabel and company want it there in New England to have the AFC playoffs go through New England again. So give me the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots as well. But I do like what you said about Miami there, right? Like they've done just enough to secure Mike McDaniel's job next year. And I think he's shown himself that he's the right head coach for that team. You're not going to do too much better. And you're also watching teams like already starting to trip over themselves to line him up as their offensive coordinator or potential head coach next year. So good on Miami to be bold in a way that a lot of teams aren't ever in identifying what your problem is, and that your problem is your franchise quarterback, and you're going to have to move on from Tua there, that Tua has been an issue for that team. You even got a little more energy from Quinn Ewers. So yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Also really bad on Zach Wilson. He just got skipped over completely. Oh, the MILF Hunter. Rest in peace. But yeah, I predict that the Dolphins, if we were just going off a spread alone, the Dolphins will cover that 10.5 spread. But Drake May, man. just lit the Jets' asses up last week. I don't think that you're going to be able to beat him if you're a subpar team. So give me the Patriots there. Next up, another game with minor kind of playoff implications here. We have the Detroit Lions, who are 8-8, at the Chicago Bears, who are 11-5. Bears are a 3-point favorite at home in this one. Ben Johnson said that they are playing to win the game, get their playoff seeding. At best, they can do number 2 seed in this one. Lions have nothing to play for except to bite some kneecaps off and try and, finish the season with a winning record. So who are you going to take in this one, Scott?
Yeah, I think especially with the fact that the Eagles are playing the Commanders this week, and I think that's all but guaranteed a win for Philadelphia fans. So congrats, John.
Yeah.
For that one. But they're tied and they're right there neck and neck with the Bears about who's going to get that second overall, seeding for the playoffs. And with how the season's kind of gone for Detroit, this is their chance to finally stick it to somebody before they go off in their off-season, scheduling. I give you the Lions on the road to play spoiler against the Bears.
I like it. It's a they still have some heart. They still have some health and everything. I don't see Dan Campbell is not the type to quit, and they'll try and reload next year with some health. I think that was a main problem there. Not only losing Ben Johnson, as their schemer there, and still trying to do the cute shit that he was really good at putting together into their play calling. But they'll try to fix some of that offensive scheming. They just need to stay healthy on defense. That killed them again this year. And you lost a little bit of your explosiveness from your main stars like Aiden Hutchinson, Alan McNeil on the defensive line. So if they can correct that, I think it'll be better for next year. If we're talking about things we're wrong about, the Bears, dude, I've been wrong about them all year. I've been refusing to believe in them, and finally watching them in some of these primetime games, dude, they're fun. Caleb Williams is fun. That Iceman shit that he's doing, I'm with him. I'm with him on this, and I'm kind of I'm pulling for them to have a little more fun. I need to look at the stats and see if he can still get to 4,000 yards on the season. I know that was something that they were chasing because the Bears have not had a 4,000 yard quarterback in.
He only needs 270. He could do that.
He could do that, right?
It's doable. 270.
Yeah, he would be. What is it? They have never. Okay, so the Chicago Bears, their highest passing yards in a season was Eric Kramer in 1995 with 3,838. They have not ever had a 4,000 yard passer.
Yeah, so he was only 100 yards behind that at this point. He just put up 300 plus last week against the Niners.
Yeah, and it just looks like it's a flick of the wrist, dude. He just looks effortless with some of these throws. He's just so fucking cool. I'm enjoying watching him here. So I hope they break that record. But also in true Bears fashion, it would be kind of funny if he finishes at 3,998.
He's just right below. He gets hurt this week.
Oh God.
He just gets hurt going into the playoffs. Who's their backup quarterback right now?
It has to be, I think, Tyson Bagent, if I'm remembering correctly.
It is Tyson Bagent. And then Case Keenum.
Holy shit, Case Keenum.
He's on the roster. He's third string.
Good for him. Good for him and his no neck. That's crazy.
Hey.
Have you seen him? It's just a head and shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Final game here. Did I say who I'm taking? I'm taking the Bears. The final game is what we were talking about, the Sunday night matchup. We have the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-8, at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 9-7-1. This one is for the AFC North. Ravens are still 3.5-point favorites on the road in this one. I'm not even sure if Lamar Jackson is playing. And honestly, I can't say, you can't say that you're going to bench Lamar, right? You can't say bench Lamar. You couldn't even do that during fantasy football. We watched Angela Panegua just die on the Lamar Jackson hill because you have to play him. But before you make your pick, do you think that the Ravens have a slightly better chance to win with Tyler Huntley than they do with Lamar based on how it's gone this year?
If it was at home, yes.
Yeah.
But with the fact that it being on the road in Pittsburgh, and this is another one of those matchups where and the script writers for the NFL have this locked in. Because, I mean, what is this now? Like the third or fourth game where like this is the game that means the most for everything for playoffs? Because whoever wins is in, you know? So, I mean, early, my gut check was taking the Ravens. But the longer that I've been chewing on it and thinking about, you know, the NFL and what they want for ratings, they want the Steelers to get into the playoffs. They want Mike Tomlin in there. They want Aaron Rodgers playing for one last Super Bowl potentially before he rides off in the sunset for a fifth time now. So give me the Steelers, I guess.
I like that.
It's a very reluctant pick. But it's just
logic is. I'm with you on this. I hate to say that I don't trust Lamar, but I don't trust Lamar anymore. I don't trust this team, and I know he's being plagued with injuries, and that goes into the trust this year. But I just believe in the Steelers a little bit more this year. I believe in Rodgers the way that he's playing. He's been playing like Perk Rodgers. I think that they could even pull off a playoff win here. Give me the Steelers to win the division in this game. And then, let me just give you this headline from, I don't know what TWSN Sports is, but when I looked up Lamar Jackson, I looked up Lamar Jackson's injury status, and it just says to be determined as of right now. But the first headline that comes up, TWSN Sports, they no edging, no foreplay, nothing. Headline is just straight up, Minnesota Vikings will replace JJ McCarthy with Lamar Jackson. They don't even no clickbait, nothing. They're just saying this is what's going to happen.
Listen, that could have been something we could. We've talked about that a couple weeks ago. How the window's kind of closing there in Baltimore. It looks like John Harbaugh's probably going to be out. I don't see Lamar winning a Super Bowl with the Ravens. I think if he does win a Super Bowl, it's going to be on another team. I mean, I was even seeing some, not rumors, but fandom trades where like the Bengals and the Ravens just do a straight up 1-for-1 trade for Burrow and Lamar, and they just swap teams to see what happens. But no, I don't. I think that window in Baltimore's closed. I don't see them winning this game just based off how they've been producing and the fact that the NFL wants Rodgers to be in the playoffs at this point. I mean, think about it. You got Rodgers going in. Patriots get home field advantage. Rodgers marches into Gillette for the AFC Championship game, wins, and then he goes to San Francisco, where he's from.
Oh my God!
Goes to San Francisco to beat, I don't know,
the Niners.
The Niners,
the team that jolted
the team that he really wanted to go to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The storyline just makes too much sense.
Then they lose to the Niners like 48-3. I'm sorry, 48-6. You can always count on like 2 Chris Boswell field goals.
Oh, you'll be banging him in from like 60 plus.
Yeah. Then that's it. That's all you'll get. Folks, the Boutte Betting Slip. I'm going to tell you, go to @323REID, @323REID to get your Boutte Betting Slip this year. Or this week, not this year. Or actually this year for 2026. Yeah. Get your Boutte Betting Slip in by Saturday. We only hit on a Will Anderson over half a sack last week, but that's because we weren't actually talking. So
thanks, Zoo.
Let's get into the Kayshon Boutte Memorial Betting Slip just to close out the show here. And with the good Cash Patel music. That's right. That music is wild.
It caught me.
I've been so happy that Kayshon Boutte has been a success with the Patriots and just growing success with that team while we keep doing this betting slip, because we've lost out on so many. The Calvin Ridley Memorial Betting Slip was, the start of it, and I'd still like to bring that back for his retirement year. But the Boutte Betting Slip has been fun this year. We've hit once. We've actually hit for once this time. We hit, and it's the week that we didn't put it in.
No one put money on it.
But this week we're going to finish strong, and Scott, I think that we're going to finish strong with a pick that I've been trying to force all season long. I've been saying a Sam Darnold 2+ interception game all season. And now I'm going to get cowardly. And I'm not going to say 2+ interceptions, but I will give you, for my booty pick, a Sam Darnold 1+ interception. Put that down on there. He's going to throw a pick here against the 49ers. I had to look that up real quick.
Yeah.
That was, so, yeah, give me a Sam Darnold interception. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams are at home against the Cardinals. You know, I don't see the Rams playing all their starters for most of the game. I think they're going to sit them a little bit and make sure everyone's rested and recuperating nicely for the playoffs. But they're playing the Cardinals. I love Jacoby Brissett, and maybe they can turn things around for next year. But for a team with as dominant of a defense, Reid, they've only have one defensive score all year. And that's from on the back of Kobe Durant, cornerback. He returned an interception for a touchdown. But give me the Rams defense anytime touchdown this week.
That'll work. I will give you a chance here. And maybe this will be for Luis, and we'll challenge him here for his booty pick. Because we haven't gotten his yet. We haven't gotten Zoo's. Those will be available, of course, Saturday at 323 REID on all social media for your booty slip. The New York Jets, we are getting into week 18 of the regular season, Scott. And the New York Jets have not recorded an interception. Could this be the week? Will the Jets get an interception? Not for me to pick, because I already made mine. But Luis, the overly confident New York Jets fan, New York sports fan, do you want to take it? I don't know. You'll find out at 323 Reid, at 323 REID on all social media with the Boutte Betting Slip this week. That is a really, really bad fucking team. The Jets. Ugh. Just ugh. Yeah. Scott, thank you for being here, buddy. We will, of course, be what are we talking about on College Shame Day that's already happened? But what
did we just talk about on College Shame Day before this?
Talk about?
Oh, we just to remind you folks that if in case you want to go and re-listen to it, talking about the college football playoff and the games that are going to be happening for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Giving you my picks for winners and looking forward to the next round of the college football playoff for the potential national champion. We said, hey, congratulations again, Fernando Mendoza, for winning the Heisman Trophy this year. We just said it last episode, but we'll say it again now.
Fair enough. We'll stay congratulating people. I'm always down to congratulate, especially the nerds. Shout out Mendoza. Yeah.
Future Vegas quarterback.
Folks, Happy New Year. Happy 2026, because it is now. At some point, wherever you're listening to it, it is 2026. And we're saying Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, Scott. I want to thank you. I want to thank Zoo. I want to thank Luis. I want to thank all of our wonderful contributors, like our guest pickers, Angela, Travis, Brad, Jay Sisson, everybody that always, contributes something to the show. Shout out BBK, Haley Hobbs, Ray Dub, Marquez, TG, everybody that contributes something to this show. I really do appreciate you. Of course, this year, like you said, it's been a up and down roller coaster kind of year. It's been rough. It's been tiring, but we've been doing our best. You guys have been doing your best, and I appreciate you all for everything that we do. We haven't done the show as much as we've wanted to this year, and there's going to be some transformations going into 2026 in the off season with how the show is going to roll out. We have some really cool ideas, some really cool different things to do. And of course, we'll update you on some of the usual stuff like AwesomeCon. Who knows? There could be some words there. But I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys for everything that you do and support on this show. And to the fans, we love you. We appreciate you. We have seen the growth on YouTube, on Spotify. It's been really awesome to see with the Wrapped and stuff.
Shout out to France.
Shout out to France. Omelette de frangis. But thank you all for everything that you do, and I really do appreciate you. And like you said, shout out France. That girl.
That's still on the soundboard.
We have a lot still on the soundboard. We have not gone into it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all around.
Anthony Mackie.
Ben Simmons, you crumb bum piece of shit.
Damn. It's in the streets.
This is damn huge, Jeff.
He was giving them the business.
Because it ain't happening right now, champ. You're not a champ. You a clown.
Okay.
Yeah, we just we just hit it with everything. Oh, thank you, folks. We will talk to you all later. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. This has been the 323.
Duval.
Thank you very much. I'm going to break your goddamn neck, you son of a bitch.
I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. The fucking Commanders. Ah!
Gobble, gobble.
All right, baby, take care.
What would you just hit with an overwhelming sound of the
It's like a
soundboard.
shock jock. Quit asking. It's like Zoo Crew morning show.
I'll let you later.
But what a beautiful woman.
Crunchy roll.
Okay.
Can Superman outrun the Flash?
Sure, why not?
No.
It's a cup. Oh, my pizza rolls are done.
The writing's coming.